Hi everybody, welcome to Better Home Bartending. My name is Dakota Bryant and this is my kitchen. This is the show where we use simple home appliances, really standard bar tools to create great tasting cocktails. Today we're going to be going over agave syrup and honey syrup. Too often at home, people make the mistake of mixing raw honey or raw agave nectar straight into a mixing glass. Over ice, these can become really stiff and challenging to work with as they coagulate and don't mix very well. So today we're going to be making an easy 1-to-1 syrup using both of these. Right now, let's grab the tools we need and then start making our syrups. For our tools, we're going to need a measuring cup, 2 bottles to transfer our syrups to once they cool, raw honey, agave nectar, 2 bowls, a whisk, and something to heat our water with. So the first thing we're going to do is start by adding 4 ounces of raw honey to our measuring cup. As you can see, this raw honey is very thick. Adding it to a cocktail shaker with ice at this form can be a nightmare. So what we're going to do is dilute it with some hot water. Once we have our honey poured, we're going to transfer it to our bowl. Transfer it to the bowl like so. Make sure you get all the honey out of the measuring cup as much as you can. Then we're going to clean our measuring cup and start with our agave. So to produce agave nectar, the leaves are cut from the plant at about 7 to 14 years of growth. The juice from the agave core, the pinna, is then extracted and heated and filtered to break into simple sugars. So once concentrated, you get this beautiful amber colored nectar. So agave nectar is not agave syrup. Agave syrup can be made to help dilute the nectar so it's easier to mix into cocktails. So right now we're going to add 4 ounces to our measuring cup. So once you get your 4 ounces, we're going to transfer it to a bowl. Make sure you get all of the agave nectar out of your measuring cup. So next we're going to get some water boiling. I have an electric kettle, so I'm going to bring this to a boil. If you don't have an electric kettle, just use something on your stovetop to bring water to a really high temperature. So while our water is coming to a boil, let's get our measuring cup ready to use again and our whisk. We're going to set those aside. Get ready to use them. So now that our water is ready to use, we're going to add 4 ounces to our measuring cup. We're going to be adding 4 ounces to our measuring cup here, and that's going to go straight into our honey. Then with our whisk, we're going to whisk slowly and incorporate it and help dilute it. So you really want to make sure it's fully dissolved. And a good way to check this is by pulling out your whisk and making sure none of that big, chunky, thick raw honey is still on there. So now I'm going to clean my whisk, repeat the same processes for our agave nectar. So that was just 4 ounces of hot water, then whisk till fully dissolved. Now you have honey syrup and agave syrup. We're going to leave them in the fridge and let them cool, then we're going to transfer them to the smaller bottles. Now my syrups are all cool. To transfer these into the smaller bottles, you can either put it back into your measuring cup to pour it in. I'm going to use a big funnel though, just a little bit quicker. Then we're going to transfer these in. So I clean my funnel, now it's time to transfer our agave nectar into a bottle. Cocktails I definitely recommend for your honey syrup are going to be a bee's knees, penicillin. You can use it for a hot toddy. The non-alcoholic wise, it goes great in iced teas, lemonades, and mocktails. For your agave syrup, it goes great in a classic margarita, the Tommy's margarita, Paloma, the Airmail cocktail, and a Oaxacan old fashioned. Enjoy.